In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to create this. I'm going to be showing you in serious detail the step-by-step process on how I would go about creating this fantastic wheel effect. All the files for this tutorial will be in the description if you want to follow along for yourself. Otherwise, my name's Dan and you're watching DanVinci. Alright then, with the intro all out of the way, let's jump into DaVinci Resolve. And right here, I'm in the edit page and I have the two clips that will be in the description down below. Any files or assets that I use in this video, I will include in the description so you guys can get familiar with the techniques that I'm going to be using. Here we have a shot of the backlight and then I've got a stationary shot of the car with the car eventually pulling away. So what I want to do is transition from this rear of the car to the wheel. The first step is I want to make sure I have a freeze frame of this shot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a copy of this shot. The quickest way to do this is just holding Alt on your keyboard and dragging up at the same time and you'll create a copy, or you can just Control C, Control V, or Command C or Command V if you're one of those weirdos on Apple computers.
This isn't a Macintosh.
Then I'm going to go to the beginning of the shot here, making sure the playhead is at the beginning of the shot. I'm going to click R on my keyboard and then click freeze frame. Then click change and you will basically create a freeze frame. So that's now frozen. Everything that we're going to be doing in Fusion with this shot is going to be done in this freeze frame. So we can just forget about this other shot here and forget about this shot. We're just going to work with this one. Now it's important to establish how long you want this transition to take. I'm going to drag it out to about here. There's no right or wrong answer here, so I'm going to keep it at this length just here. So what I'm going to do now is jump into the Fusion page on this clip. All right, so when you jump into Fusion, it will look a little bit something like this. Now, if you're new to DaVinci Resolve, please do not worry. I know that Fusion can seem a bit overwhelming for some of the new guys here, but don't worry, just follow step by step and I'm sure you'll be absolutely fine. And if not, scream at me in the comments. Please don't. I've already renamed my media into wheel. The shortcut to renaming it is F2, but what I'm first going to do is move this up here, create a background node, and just put this over here like so. This is how I like to edit. You don't have to do this. It's just how I like to do things in Fusion. The first thing I'm going to do is click Control G and bring up the guide tool. What I'm going to do is create a transform node and place it here. Because what I want to do first is make sure that this shot is perfectly framed before I do anything else. So I want to make sure this wheel is nice and center. So I'm just going to use the transform node in the inspector just to make sure that this is nicely framed up and in the middle. Now what we need to do is create our different elements, and this transition is all about the elements. Basically, we want to make sure that we cut out each individual element that we want to animate, and then what we're going to do is move them all together to create one frame. It's quite hard to explain, just trust me.
And I'm supposed to trust you?
So the first element I'm going to isolate are the nuts, and not those kind of nuts, the nuts and bolts. So if we zoom in, I basically want to cut these out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this guy here. This guy is called the polygon tool. So we're going to drag that down and create a polygon node. Then select your wheel node, which is your media in. Then I'm going to click 1 on my keyboard, making sure we have the preview panel open. If you don't, it may look something like this. So you just want to make sure you click this little icon here and it'll open up the preview. And then what we want to do is, while on the preview, zoom in and just cut out this nut or bolt. There you go, now cut it out. So what we want to do is grab the output of the polygon 1 and drag it over to the wheel. There we go. We now have a bolt or a nut. Then what you want to do is copy and paste the wheel. So we want to create another layer of the exact same footage. Then we want to drag the output of this wheel 1 to the output of just the standard wheel, the first original copy, and it will generate a merge node. This is perfect. This is exactly what we want. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the exact same thing again, over and over again, until I've got the nuts all cut out. Once you've cut out your nuts or bolts, you will have something that looks like this, and this is exactly what you want. This is the node tree, and I'm just going to call these nuts. There we go. We now have our nuts. Now create another copy of your media in this case, the nut node, and we're going to rename it to wheel. So when we get our original wheel output and drag it on, these nuts will be perfectly aligned on top. Now what we want to do is animate the nuts. Okay, so let's select our first nut, and we're going to create a transform node. While we've got it selected, make sure it's just sandwiched in between the merge and the nut there. And what we're going to do is we're going to make sure, first of all, that we have the pivot point, which is over here in the inspector, and we're just going to move it so that it's absolutely perfect in the center on top of this nut. That means when we use the size tool, it's going to increase and decrease in the center of its, well, mass. So let's go to frame 0 and create our first keyframe. So over in the inspector, let's just click center, size, and angle. Then let's go to the frame in which you want the nuts to fly in. So let's do, I don't know, let's do frame 40, and let's just create some more keyframes here in the same place. We're not changing any of the values just yet. And then let's go back to frame 0 where we created those first keyframes, increase the size. Let's add a bit of rotation, just to make it a bit more interesting. And let's move it just out of frame, maybe just up here. So let's maybe make it huge. Let's go into size and make it size 30. It's gonna be massive. There we go. Now if we click play, we should have a very large nut flying across screen. Now what I'm gonna do is the exact same thing, but with these nuts here as well. I'm gonna create a transform node and animate them in, coming in from each corner of the frame, just to make it a bit more interesting. Okay, great, I've finished that now. So what I've done is basically create a keyframe at frame 40 on every single transform node here, animating in for every single nut all the way into their default positions, which would match up with our wheel shot. Now let's open the keyframe editor, the spline. Right, so we've got the spline open here and things might look a little bit hectic, but don't worry, I can sort that out for you. Click this button here and basically it'll sort out your frame so that you can just see your keyframes a bit more nicely. And what we're gonna do here is just click the three buttons here and click show only selected. Then what we wanna make sure is we've got all the nodes that are our transform nodes with the keyframes on them selected. Let's just click that button again and just make sure everything's all nice and easy to see. So let's select our keyframes, click S on our keyboard to create an ease in and an ease out. Then click T on your keyboard to open up the ease in and the ease out controls. Then what I've done is created our curve like this. You can use a similar sort of values as that, but really it comes down to your personal preference. If you like it a certain way and it's not these values, do it. So now you'll notice if we just take a look at this, my computer's running really slow, so I'm just going to bring down the resolution. You'll see that these fly in and slow down, which is nice. But let's make things a little bit more interesting. Let's move these keyframes a little bit. So let's open the keyframe editor. Let's again click the three dots and click show only selected, and then let's open up our transform keyframes. Now just select any of your choice like this and let's delay them a little bit. Just stack them just like this. Lovely. Now when you click play, they'll all come in at different times. It just looks a lot better and cooler. So now let's start animating in the actual wheel. So for now, I'm just gonna disconnect this wheel just so we got the nuts only. And then what I'm gonna do is grab the output of the wheel and I'm gonna attach it to the merge node just here. Let's cut out the wheel. And what I'm gonna do is do the same thing I did before, is grab the polygon node, drag it down, click one on my keyboard, and then work away and cut this out. I haven't actually cut out the tyre yet, I'll get to that in a bit. How do I cut the inner parts? Because basically I want to cut out and only have the actual alloy itself and not, the brake disc behind and all of that. So how do I cut that out? Well, what we want to do is create another polygon node just here and then just work away. And just keep on doing this until you've maxed out every part of this wheel. Okay, so once you've maxed out the alloy, you'll get something like this. Now, you may have noticed my masks, they haven't done anything. There's still bits in between. Don't worry. All you need to do is click on each mask and just click on subtract. This will then just invert it basically and cut out what you wanted to cut out. So just do this over and over again. It's really annoying. If you're wondering whether there is a quicker way of actually doing this, go watch my video about masking. I cover things like the magic mask, which is a wonderful tool, which is fantastic for speeding things up. And there will be a new version of that video coming out very soon for the magic mask too. So make sure to get subscribed for that. And there we are, we now have a cut out alloy. Now, what do I do with this, Dan? It's gonna get really cool in a minute.
I can be cool if I want to.
So if you want to condense down all of these polygons, because it's quite intense the amount that you have, just select them all and click Ctrl G on your keyboard, and then you can just click F2 on your keyboard and write whatever you want. So I'm just gonna call it alloy. There we go, we now have the alloy. Much more easy on the eyes. If you remember, we made this transform node right at the beginning. Let's make sure when we zoom in that in the inspector, our pivot point is in the center of the wheel. So we want to just make sure this is sort of bang on in the middle. That way, when we spin this round using the angle here, the whole wheel pivots on its center, which is really nice, like a real wheel. Lovely! Now, what I want to do is find the point where the nuts are just flying in like so. Just find towards the end there, maybe on frame, I don't know, frame 50. Let's do frame 50. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go onto the transform node and we're going to create an angle keyframe, and then we're going to go to, let's say, frame 70 and create another keyframe. And here I'm going to set the angle at something around about -600. Let's see what that looks like so far. Now at the minute, it looks a bit awful, like just a slideshow, but let's fix that. Making sure when we're in the spline, we've got the transform node selected so we can review the keyframes here, and let's just zoom it out so we can see them. Lovely. And let's just highlight these keyframes, and click S on our keyboard again, and click T to make sure we've got the E's in the E's out, controls, and just adjust these like so. Make it a nice, strong S curve. Lovely. And for an added touch, what you can do is go into your settings and click motion blur, and just increase the quality and the shutter angle if you want, just to make it a bit more dramatic. That way it looks a bit more real when it spins. So if you just make sure you've got your motion blur on, it should look a little bit something like this. Now coming out of the spline, let's animate in this alloy. So just at the point that these nuts start to spin, let's create a circle mask just here, otherwise known as an ellipse. And what we're going to do is attach this to the mask input of the merge node for the alloy. So just make sure that your ellipse node is just center, sort of matching the anchor point that we did with the transform node earlier on. So let's create some keyframes on the width and the height on frame 50, and let's go all the way out to frame 70. And let's create keyframes again. So let's jump back to the first frames and just make this all the way down to 0. Just put you on 0, put you on 0. And then what we're going to do is jump back into the spline again, making sure that we've got the ellipse mask selected. Select these keyframes, click S on a keyboard, and just add a nice S curve again. Now when you play this, you'll get this nice transitional spin. Now I'm not liking the aggression of the angle, so I think what I'm going to do is go into the transform node again, and I'm going to go back to the angle, and I'm just going to reduce it down a little bit, make it spin a little bit more slowly. I'm going to keep the keyframes exactly the same, just bringing the rotation down a tad. So now what I'm going to do is mask out the tire. So I've got another copy of the wheel here, and I call this using F2 tire. Now clicking the output, drag it over to the output of the merge node next to alloy, and you'll see we have the wheel, and you can see the actual shot spinning around. Now let's create another polygon mask tool, and we're going to click 1 on our keyboard, open this in the preview, while selecting the polygon, mask out our tire. Now let's select the polygon output and put it on the tire. There we go, we now have the tire. So now what we want to do is create another mask using the polygon tool once again. I know there's a lot of masks in this video, bear with, it's going to be a good effect in the end. Then create a polygon, and then what we want to do now is mask out the outer shell of the alloy. Now that we've done that, do the same thing again, just go over to the paint mode, go down to subtract, and it will subtract that section of the layer. Now what we want to do is do the same thing we did with the alloy and create a circle mask or ellipse, and then just drag the output of this over to the input, the blue little triangle just here, making sure that that circle is nice and center with the wheel. And now we can expand and retract our tire. Now towards the end of this wheel spinning, just around the time when it actually sort of morphs into place, I'm going to then, let's do frame 64 here. And we're going to grab our circle mask and we're going to bring it right the way in. The tire is non-existent. And we're going to create a keyframe on the width and the height. And we're going to go to frame 80 and just expand it right the way out like so. There we go. And now for the final touches. Let's first select our transform node. Let's go to frame 70, just as the tire is inflating, and let's go to the size, the center, and make sure that we have the angle also keyframed as well. This happens to be the frame in which the spinning has stopped. So on frame 70, we now have the keyframe selected for the transform. Let's go to frame 86 here, and let's just bring it to size 1, and let's put it back to its default position, which will be these values right here in the inspector. Let's jump back into the spline, and let's just make the keyframes for this zoom nice and smooth. I'm going to make a curve like this. I want it to be quite abrupt right at the end, and there is a reason for that, which I'll explain later. Now let's make sure we're on frame 86 here, and let's click Control Space on our keyboard to bring up the Select Tool search bar. Basically it's a search function for your nodes, and let's search camera. Camera shape will come up. Make sure we click camera shape, click add, and then on frame 86 I'm going to do overall strength and speed keyframes, and then I'm going to jump a frame before and bring the overall strength right the way down, and then I'm going to go to frame 94 and bring the overall strength right the way down and the speed right the way down. Then what I'm going to do is go back into the spline. On the keyframes that we've just made for the camera shape, I'm just going to make this into a nice ease out, and in the settings in the inspector I'm also going to add some motion blur. Basically what I'm trying to mimic is the wheel actually attaching itself to the car, and this will be a fantastic point to switch to the actual main shot. So let's go back to frame 86 and let's make sure we're on our node tree here, and let's get our media in, or our wheel, our original shot, making sure the camera shake is right next to the media out. Let's click the output of the wheel and attach it to our transform node like so. And then what we're going to do is go over to the inspector tab on the merge node for the wheel, make sure it's on 1 on our keyframe, go a keyframe before, and go to 0 on the blend. Now, just to stop this sort of black edging that's happening where there's just no shot there, we go over to the camera shake, go into the inspector, go to controls, and let's go to edges and click on mirror. It should just get rid of this sort of edging there, like so. Now, obviously this isn't going to run in real time, so what you want to do when you go back into your edit page is right click on your selected clip, click render in place. If you want your render to have an alpha channel, what you want to do in the render in place selection tool is click on the codec, go down to GoPro Cineform, and make sure you click render at source resolution as well. You want that to be, you know, at the max resolution as possible. Click render and then find a place to save that file. Once your freeze frame fusion clip has been rendered, you just need to place this on top of your brake light shot or whatever shot you have. And because you rendered it with an alpha channel, it should appear on top. And because this is a freeze frame, it should smoothly transition into the following shots straight after. Now, the final thing that you can add to this to make it really stand out and ground it in reality is sound effects. They add an element of realism that just make it stand out and make it just that bit better. Do not underestimate adding sound effects to your projects, as it's a real great way of making your edits level up. And there we have it, a really sick wheel transition in DaVinci Resolve. Now, I do apologize for how many masks there are in this video and how complicated the fusion tree was. I'm always around to help some people in the comments who get stuck, but otherwise, my name's Dan, you've watched DanVinci, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.